Hey folks, it's time for TWiP PRO Photo Critique number 164, Texture. This is TWiP. Hey, welcome back to another TWiP PRO Photo Critique. This is critique number 164. The topic was texture. We're a little bit late because both Troy and I we're both traveling the country, at least earlier this week. I just got back yesterday. Troy is still on the road. Troy, what are you doing out there? What are you doing? Where are you at?
I am in Indiana. I'm northeast of Indianapolis. So
nice. Yeah, that's
Fort Wayne. Yeah,
the bustling metropolis out there, right? Can you show us what it looks like outside the window? Your city, cityscape.
Here. Yeah, there it is. Wait, is it crooked? I can't tell. There it is.
That's
there
awesome.
we are. That's it.
Oh,
like,
clouds!
As far as you can see.
You have clouds. Look at that.
It's beautiful. It really is beautiful out there.
That is cool.
So it's my cousin farms all that, which is really cool. So later today, after we're done, we're going to go do a farm tour. We're going to take out the gators, which are like, big utility type, little trucks. And we're just going to go grab some beverages and we're going to go drive around the farm.
That's so country. I love it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's so country. Yep. You got to put on your little straw hat and some overalls while you do that.
No. I do have a hat though. I wear my hat.
Wear a hat. You don't want that sun. You don't want that sun hitting that, right?
No, and it's hot. It's like 90 degrees and 60% humidity, and we're closer to the sun or something. I don't know. It's hot. So
that's exactly what I said in Florida. Florida, for the folks that don't know, I was in Florida for the last couple of days recording a course with the Kilby One crew. It was a course on time travel for photographers. That little stick I do. And man, Florida is hot. I don't think it's any hotter than California. It's just that humidity is just, you're just constantly moist and oozing your bodily fluids. So you got to keep bringing them in so that they can go out so you don't run out of gas. It's crazy. Florida's beautiful. I mean, that was my first time spending any time down there. So beautiful. That airport is the best airport I've ever been in. It was from landing to the rental car to driving out was like by the numbers, so much better than California or Nevada, in the Vegas McCarran airport. It was just so easy. Loved it. But that's done. And flew back yesterday, and now I'm, diving through 300 emails and recording the critique and all that. So all that to say, that's why the critique is late this week, people. so with that, you wanna dive in?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
All right, let's dive in again. This week's critique topic was texture.
Textures.
We are inside the community now. Looks like the first one up is by Armando. He says, I thought photographing an egg was something easier. This is my texture image for this week's critique. Yeah, I don't see that being easy.
No.
Yeah,
no,
look at
that's
that.
super.
Let's see. Hide this. There we go. All right. Look at this. This is cool. This looks, one of them, you know what I wanted to see when I saw this? I wanted to see one of them broken open. Just one. Just one.
That's a little cliche.
With an alien coming out of it, or maybe it's broken open with like a green light coming out.
This is super creative and super unique, and I really appreciate that. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm not, at first I thought that maybe each of the squares would be different eggs, but they're not. It's their clone. They're duplicated throughout. So I don't know. I don't know if I like it so much that way as opposed to just one rack of eggs by itself, right? Instead of just duplicating it. I don't know. I love the idea though. So I was wondering what you thought.
Yeah, same thing. Either we think alike. So I was thinking either less or more. So less me and I wanted, like I was just kind of saying tongue in cheek when we started, I wanted to see the pattern interrupted somehow. So that could be a broken egg or a different colored egg or a missing egg or something like that, just to interrupt the pattern, to add a little bit more interest to it. But the less is more thing would be, or less or more thing would be, either show me 12, like 3 rows of 4, or fewer, like 6. But for some reason, the oblong 8 is messing with me. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, and I think what's leading me to this idea that they're not different, but yet the tonality, the tonal control across the images are different, which means that each one of these was placed there, intentionally made the left side lighter and the right side of the image darker as we transition through the image to the right, but they're all the same set of eggs. So overall, I do like it. I think it's cool. I think it's pretty cool. What I would suggest is the same exposure for each one all the way across, and just repeat the pattern and just let the pattern repeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or do something subtle, where they're rotated or they're flipped or something, so that it doesn't repeat over and over and over through all of the 8 squares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But cool concept though, right? It's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
With a wide angle lens, distorting them out like that.
Yes, I would love to see this as just one tray of eggs, because I think we'd see more texture, we'd see more depth. We the eggs would seem taller. Just one tray of the eggs.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that would be my favorite. But
and interrupt the pattern. It's one tray of eggs with one hole. You see, the one hole missing would mess with your OCD, right?
Yeah. Yes. Or turn one of the eggs upside down.
Yeah. Or put a chicken there or something, So, I know, cliche. I know.
Good
cool.
Though. I like it. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you, Armando. Very nice.
Love it, Armando. Yeah. Very creative. Very creative.
Next up, we have Stephen Scharf, old rusty pump at Ward Pumping Station. Yeah, talk about texture here. Look at that.
Yeah, that's so great. See a lot of rusty equipment out here that I just drive by and I can't stop and photograph it, but I love that.
Why can't you stop? You're on vacation. What are you talking about?
Well, when you gotta make a 9-hour drive, to get from point A to point B to get to your hotel or meet somebody, you can't always stop. So, but I do a lot of stopping. But this is great. I do really love this. I would love to see it in black and white. I know that's probably predictable.
Mm-hmm. But that's true, though. That's true.
Right. Because I think the texture is going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
What I really love here is the curve of that manifold and those bolts. So I might crop a little bit tighter. Maybe
just
not.
Like around here, maybe.
Maybe, or burn it down a bit.
There's got to be there's got to be 100. There's got to be 100 different crops you could do with this thing, because there's so much, even including this one, which is fine. But yeah, getting in close. Maybe an abstract with just this arc coming through from the top right to the bottom left of the frame with the bolts coming through, and black and white and all that. Yeah, I totally agree.
Right. What I would also do is look at the right hand side of the image, where you've got that plate or panel, and you can kind of see how it's bright right at the edge of the frame. I would probably try to bring some of that blue out of it, and I would probably bring the tones down so it didn't have that highlight right to the edge of the frame. So it kind of just burn that down just a little bit.
Yeah. What about the border treatment? Do you think the border adds to it, takes away, benign?
I think it adds to it. I think it's nice that it creates this perimeter that this fits in, being something that's such a different juxtaposition to what you might see, where this would hang inside of a room. This really kind of clearly defines that border. I always like this stuff. That was a loaded question.
That was a loaded question. Yeah. I like it on this one because it gives you the feeling of kind of peering through a window into this space. Not right. So much. Right. Yeah. I mean, it contains the work, but it really feels like I'm, a voyeur kind of looking through and kind of seeing what's going on in the scene.
Right. Yeah.
Very
I love
cool.
this texture. This is really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Very nice. Thank you, Stephen Scharf.
Good job.
Right. Coming up next is Karen Sweeney, Tree Bark and Moss. You know, when I first saw this one, I thought it was a drone shot looking down on like the Amazon or something. It looked like a straight down shot with those mesas in there and trees. Totally looked like that.
Crap, that's all I see now.
You can't see that herd of gazelle right there?
Yeah. That line of hikers that are going along that ridge right there.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
So, that said, now that you know it's not an aerial shot, what do you think?
I really like this a lot. And one of the things I really love is that you got that soft texture of the moss, and then you sort of got that rough texture of the bark. You've got the color harmony between the brown and the green, which I think is fantastic. And then I really love how the lower right quadrant of the moss is slightly lighter or brighter than the rest of the image. So it really gives us a sense of depth, and we know where to look. There's our subject. That's like the hook of the image. Mm-hmm. So very, very well done. Yeah, I think that's super good. Super cool.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Yeah, because it kind of guides you right down there. And also, I wonder, Karen, if was it intentional that you made this shot kind of perpendicular to the tree bark to give us that feeling of an aerial shot? Because it definitely looks like that. It definitely looks like an aerial photo. Or maybe we're just all calibrated to seeing aerial photos now. So we see something like this, our brain goes there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think that it's a great composition. We have a little bit of space on the right-hand side of the frame that really doesn't add to the image. It looks like it's been burned down a little bit intentionally, which is fine. But I think you could probably crop the right and maybe from the bottom to balance it a little bit. The right side we really don't need. It's kind of muddy in the dark, and but I'm not opposed to that side. I think as part of the image, it's fine. But if you want to get picky, I might try to clean that up a little bit.
Nice. All right, Karen Sweeney, thank you. Such good work. All right, next up is Nora Zanotinus, Weathered. Look at that. Yeah. It's so cool. That's so cool.
There are so many textures in this and so many things happening, and I just, there's the texture of the wall, there's the texture of her hat, there's two pieces of the wall, and then there's the woman's face. So many wonderful textures in there. I really do dig this a lot. This is and good timing too.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, this is a good portrait, a good portrait, and a good example of texture. And then I know we always go back to this whole black and white versus color thing, but I'm intrigued by it. Two things: would you like to see this in black and white or even infrared? And secondly, would you rotate this to the left a little and crop out that bottom wall texture?
So yes, I would love to see this in black and white. It would look great in infrared if you happen to have shot it in that. But I think the thing about the black and white, it would really draw us into the woman's hat first and then her face. And then we would see those textures even more. And you could get away with pushing a little bit more clarity or dehaze without getting, some color deviations in there. I love the color harmony like this, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think black and white is one of those things you got to play with it to kind of see what story it tells you. The crop and the rotation, absolutely. Although I feel like she's moving, I feel like she's falling forward. Mm-hmm. So rotate the image. And I think you might even be able to crop it up a little bit. I think because when you rotate it, you may have to crop it, and I think you'll be okay with that.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that cane though. You don't want to lose the cane.
No, you don't. You may have to be clever with that, but definitely rotate a little bit, and then burn down the hat a tad. Well, let me say, I don't know if Mighty's making the hat brighter. Mm-hmm. Than what I'm seeing on my phone, so I'm getting two versions. But if it's bright, bring it down so you can see some good detail in there.
Yeah, I agree. But I like it.
I love this. Yeah.
Definitely on topic for sure. The weathered wall, the weathered skin, the texture in the hat, all that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I might go in and clean up some of the smuts that's on the wall. It looks like there's like something like in front of her, right in front of where her pigtail. Yeah, it's not texture as as such. It's not paint peeling. I would probably clean some of that up.
Yeah, for sure. That's easy, right?
Easy peasy.
All right, Nora. Well done. James Glennie's up next. The textures of life. Let's bring this one up.
Look at all that chlorophyll.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That looks like spinach. I can't quite tell. I'm wondering what it is, what plant that is, but I'm guessing spinach.
Or alien highway system.
That's right. Or it could be an alien brain. It could be a brain structure of some foreign, biomass.
Absolutely. It totally could. What do you think of the shot compositionally?
I think it's fun. I think it's really great. I love all the lines and the patterns and the tonality throughout. The only little thing I'm struggling with is the left edge and the top left corner are the same brightness as sort of the center right, where I think that's the center right brighter spot is perfect compositionally. So I would just I'd bring down the left corner, top left corner, and the left lower right corner. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I think the composition is done really well. Keeping the curve in there, keeping our eyes on those patterns, the shallow depth of field that we're seeing. Yeah, it's really great. Good tone. The green is the same all the way through. Nice key line. Bravo. Well done.
Well done. Yeah, I agree. I have nothing to add to that. Yeah, I love it. I like this a lot. And yeah, even the border, I like it.
Yep.
Notice I had to put even in there. Even the border.
Even. I know. I didn't want to comment on it. I knew it was happening.
We're in sync now. All right. That was James. Thanks, James, for that. Appreciate it. All right. Michael Rhino's up next. Michael Rhino says, textures in the sand at Great Sand Dunes National Park. Were you able to connect with Michael in Denver when you drove through there?
That's going to be on the way home.
Oh, on the way back. Okay.
I don't know what the date is now, but it'll be in a few more days before we head out, and then I'll see him, and then we're going to go photograph in some cool places, which I don't know yet. He's going to surprise me. So. Oh,
that's cool. Well, I mean, in Denver, you just in that whole area, you just throw a rock in a direction and take a photo, and you get art, right?
I know. We stayed in Colorado Springs on our way out, so we were there for 2 days, and we went riding in the, what is it called, like the Red Rocks biking or outdoor area. I could just live there. I could give me a tent. I'm done. I want to stay in that. It's great. So, yeah. But we didn't get to do much more than that. So on the way out, we'll see him. So,
okay, cool. So what do you think of this shot on the merits of composition? We've got lots of texture.
We do have a lot of texture, and I love dunes because I spend a lot of time, riding and camping and hiking in them. I really, really like the way that the composition of this image is set up. I love the fact that we have those distant, smaller ripples, and then we have the bigger dunes in the upper third, and then in the lower majority of the frame, we have the ripples again. I really like that. I think that's really kind of a wonderful composition.
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. I wonder what this would look like inverted. I wonder how weird that would look, right? Because then it becomes kind of sky looking. And
exactly.
Right. And then the shadows kind of reverse and things make a different kind of sense. They still make sense, but it's reversed because, like, where's the light source coming from and all that.
Right. It looks to me like it may be a little heavy-handed on the sharpening. One of the things that I see a lot when I look at like sand and this type of things is like everybody wants those grains to pop out, which is fine. But I tend to like more of a smoothing effect on the sand, and it's that way more of the shapes and the lines of the ridges stand out as opposed to the physical texture of the sand. So
right.
worth playing with. I mean, it's opinion, right? It's just your choice of how you want.
And he was going for texture as well. So right. So
true.
Is it the texture of the sand, or is it texture of the dunes themselves? Or does it have to be an or?
Or both.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I dig
right.
it. Cool, Michael.
And this is an image I would love to see some kind of border on. It doesn't have to have a key line, but I think if you put like a white border or a black border around this, I think it would help present the image, because right now you have so many tones hitting the very, very edge of the frame. I think they need a container.
I agree 100%. On a shot like this, a border, especially since there's so many deep, almost completely black shadows in here, that would definitely play into a border and just make it all feel really intentional. Yeah, I 100% agree here.
Right.
Maybe not
worth,
a key
worth
line.
Trying, right?
Maybe not a key line.
Maybe not.
Definitely not a sloppy
okay.
border. No sloppy borders on this.
Oh God. That was personal.
That's going for the gut. Sucker punch.
Yeah.
All right. Michael Rhino. Thank you, sir.
Good job.
Mark Charette is up next. Mark says, this is not my style, but hey, the shot made me think of how we look at clouds and see shapes. Our minds do play funny tricks on us at times. So I'll call this moss on granite rock makes, and let's bring this up because I'm curious, makes animal head shape. Okay, let's see. Come on, mighty. There we go. Oh, okay. What animal head shape is that?
Well, apparently...
Maybe it's a bat.
Apparently
it could be a bat.
It's a bat. Maybe a bat. I don't know. I don't see
Oh, I see it. I see it now. It could be a bear or a dog. So here's the little forehead. The eye is right here. Here's the snoot. Its mouth is open. So there, and that's the bottom of the jaw. So it could be a bear. Yeah. Or a bat.
This looks like another aerial shot of like a forest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a clearing in the forest. That's this is a deforestation shot for some kind of eco-friendly company. Yeah, absolutely.
I really like this a lot, and I think what I really enjoy about it is compositionally it's really fun, and it's relaxing to look at, in that you've got that white center, which is easy for us to see, and then you have the green that's surrounding it, which sort of but allows our eyes to find the center and the texture of the rock, which I think is great. And it just, maybe it was naturally there that way, but good color harmony.
Yeah. No, it's really nice. I like it. I'm wondering, my eye is looking at this thing right here though. Like, what is this?
Yeah,
I would have cloned that out of there.
I agree. I can't really zoom in on it. It looks like maybe a piece of bark. Like a little piece of wood or something that fell in there. And that's going to be a little challenging to remove because the textures that you have, the greenery, that has so many subtle tones and shapes and unique individual patterns to it, that if you clone over that, you might just end up repeating patterns that are going to be really hard to not see. Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So
for the most part, no, maybe a little bit.
But on this one, I have to, draw a square around it. I don't think I like this border treatment on this one. I feel like I want the border. I feel like I want the border to be black or white on a shot like this. I know he probably picked a tone from within the image, but I don't know. And the red, there's red in there too. There's a red like key line around there, which I think he's trying to pull out the browns or the reds from within the image and play on that. I think that might be too, for me at least. I think that's too much. I think just a simple border, just to trap it in there. I don't think it needs to have any sort of color play in there. But that's completely subjective, obviously.
Right. Anytime that I ever did borders and key lines, I almost always went with black and white or a very thin color from within the image. I rarely went with the heavier border to be a color from within the image or other than black. And I really struggle with that. I actually like this. I think it's a good color. I think he did great. I think it would look good in a matte or printed or hanging with those colors as an edge. But yeah, that's kind of that's always going to be kind of an aesthetic that you have to find.
Totally. And it's subjective and it's your look and all that. So I get it. I'm just speaking personally, but cool shot.
Well, we know you don't.
What borders?
Yeah, we know you don't
borders?
like key lines. Borders and key lines, yeah.
Hey, photographers without borders, man. Come on.
Oh man, that was cheap.
That's what I do. Not cheap, inexpensive. Come on. All right, Mark. Thank you. Hey, coming up next is Erik Pronske, weather door image made in Cinque Terre, Italy.
Oh, Cinque Terre or something like that.
Cinque Terre, something. I know I butchered it.
Cinque Terre. Yeah, we both did.
Yeah.
This is really cool. I love these kind of things, and anytime I get a chance, I see them and I want to photograph them myself. My only recommendation to this one is a little bit of clarity and dehaze. One of the two kind of really pop and give some separation in the veins of the paint itself. And then draw a radial gradient around the keyhole and bring the rest of that image down a bit. I feel like it's too bright.
So kind of equalize
I feel like
a little.
Equalize it a little bit, but not too much. Something to draw our eye more to the center of the image. Right now, it's easy to fall off the edge.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of falling off the edge, since we're talking about borders, would this image benefit from a border? Or I know I'm asking the wrong person. I'm like asking a bear. Asking a bear, do you like fish? How do you feel about fish?
And that's what I was. That's what I was going to say. To be fair, I would put a border on everything. Although, I post a lot of images in the community that I don't put borders on. So it really comes down to the finished product and how you're going to use them. Probably 50% of the images that I sell to clients don't have borders. So it depends on where it's going to hang, how you're going to present it. Is it intended for a frame? Is it intended to be metal and have an edge? What's it going to hang against? So it just depends. This looks good against the white that Mighty gives it as a background. So not too bad.
Very cool. I like it. We got some work to do with picking a favorite. I hope you're taking notes. I think our last shot, I think this is the last one. Is Joshua the last one? No, second to last. Yeah. Next, Joshua says, my high-end skin retouching class didn't take. Shot with his Canon with a Sigma lens. Let's take a look. Yeah, so Joshua was going to come in strong with texture as the topic, right?
Right. And of course, these snakes are fantastic. And I just got to say, I love the eye in this snake, and I know, and I really want to point that out because I know Joshua spends a lot of time on them, but it makes the image. I mean, it really, really does. That dude is looking at me, and I'm nervous. I know he's in an aquarium.
It's the eye of Sauron, right?
Yes, it is the eye of Sauron.
Yeah.
This is just absolutely wonderful. Any part of it that I look at is just intriguing, and I love those scales. I like right in front of the nose or the snout of the snake, how the body has that organic sort of fabric-y type ripple, like a chainmail ripple. It doesn't.
Oh,
I just think it's
here?
great.
Yeah. So you kind of get a look at the physics of those scales and how they move and undulate. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. The only thing that I would say about an image like this, and I know this is going to be incredibly time consuming and difficult, is I wish the specular highlights on some of the scales, we'll call them, I don't know what else there would be. I would like to see them taken down or taken out so that it felt like the light was softer, because I don't know what the light source is and I don't know how it had to be lit, but the light is very specular on some of those. And I feel like it's distracting. I wish it was a softer light. That's all. And so knocking down some of those highlights, but it would have to be per scale. So that's
a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Can you do it like with frequency separations or something like that? Just to isolate those highlights to bring them down or adjust them individually? It seems like you should be able to do that without getting into the individual scale thing.
Maybe. I mean, that would have to be somebody that's a Photoshop, genius to figure that out. The challenge is that if you tried to pick a spectrum, right, a highlight spectrum, is getting it to smoothly transition to the nearby area without selecting areas in the image that you don't want. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how. I would just probably do it manually because it would take me longer to figure it out the other way. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but old Greg Benz would come in here and say, "Oh yeah, just do this, and that. Boom, you got it. Here are your scales."
Yeah, all done. Yeah.
Yep. Very cool. Yeah, love it.
Exactly.
Love it. Thank you, Joshua, for sharing.
Well done, Joshua. I love the color.
All right. Next up is Craig Stanfley. He says part of this process is serendipity, allowing for chance and accepting what is found is not necessarily what was being looked for. Regardless, here are some textures. Yeah, I loved your comment on this, by the way. Your OCD comment of looking at this light right here.
But that's sort of the pattern interrupted in a very small way. And what I think is wonderful about this image is that is a surprise. It's a visual surprise when you find it. Yeah, and some people will never, like an Easter egg. Some people will never see it. And then others, like me, will see it and go, "Oh, God, I wish that was fixed." But you can't fix it because it's so wonderful, right? It's like it's got to be there.
Yeah, it does make the image. And it's that whole pattern interrupted again, like we started with the egg, It adds a little interest when we see a bunch of things that are similar and one that's obviously not. Fits right in there.
Right. Cool. This image also has a lot of other really wonderful things going for it, is where you have these very harsh horizontal lines or diagonal lines, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have those vertical lines of the lights that just create this nice subtle curve. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of this juxtaposition, this play against each other, and then the curve of the road leading you through this tunnel of the lights. There's so many things about this that I absolutely love. Two suggestions. One would be that highlighted triangle on the side. I would bring that down so that it is just barely brighter than the surrounding area. Mm-hmm. Right now, I feel it's 2 stops maybe brighter. I would bring it down to be like half a stop brighter. Yeah. And then I would crop up from the bottom, right, so that you would lose the line on the road, the left line on the road, if we were heading, like to the left. So if you bring it down right above the lower left line that intersects the left edge, right by those fat horizontal lines.
Right here?
Right there, yeah. I would crop it horizontally at that point.
Oh, so cut off all these, there. Cut off all this area and just kind of go for almost square then.
Yeah, and the reason, because I tend to think that the freeway and the textures of the walls at the freeway and those light poles, they're really the heroes. I think of that foreground is just distracting, and I really don't think it needs to be there. I want to see that it's a road, like I want to see the dotted lines or just a little bit to kind of tell me, oh, that's a road there. But I think for me, the beauty of this image is everything above it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Love it. Cool. Thank you, Craig Stanfley. I have nothing to add to that. And I believe, that was cut. Yeah. So that's it for looking at these. What do you have a favorite out of the group? And I'm letting you pick it because this was you picked this topic, and these are all good. I think I picked the last one. Maybe. I don't remember.
Jeez. Geez, let me consult the corn and soybeans.
All right, look at that. So there's Armando's, there's Stevens, there's Karen, Nora, James, Mr. Rhino, Mr. Charette with his bat.
When I look at texture, like just the topic of texture, and what really draws me in with texture is it's either Eric's or James. I love both of those, and I can't really choose.
So Eric's, let's take a look at Eric's. So I'll be the tiebreaker then, right? So
Okay.
Eric's,
Yeah.
Here's Eric's. Let's absorb that. Feel the paint. All right.
Smell that wood.
James was, am I going the right direction? Oh yeah, this one. James.
That one.
Here we go.
Yeah, that one.
I like this one too.
I mean, and they're pure texture, and that's kind of one of the things that I really love about those, is that it's really, really, really easy to just really fall into those textures. All of them are wonderful. There's textures in everything, but those are two that really speak out to me.
Can we just break our rule this week and pick two? Because I like both of those as well.
Yeah, well, it's kind of our rule, right? Like we can.
Yeah, exactly. We're making the laws. Those who write history can say what it is. Yeah, right. I like this one. I like both of them. So let's go with both of those. Those are our winners. Or I hate winners. Those are our favorites. Our favorites for this week.
Correct. Yes, because all our kids are winners.
All our kids, yeah. Yeah, we're not. No, they're not.
No.
All kids win at baseball. No, there are winners and losers. But in subjective things like this, it's different.
Right.
All right. So the next topic for number 165 is travel.
Travel.
Right? So explain it. What? I mean, travel. That could be anything, right?
Yeah, but being on the road, like we're going to be on the road for almost 3 weeks, and you see a lot of stuff, you meet a lot of people, and there's a lot of opportunity for you to think outside the box of what your normal either perception is, or how you see the world, or maybe just what the gas stations look like.
Yep.
They're different. They're different everywhere. So travel could be anything, and it kind of fits into that. Everything from standing in line at the airport to looking out at a field that you just normally don't ever see, that requires travel or is part of your traveling. So how that relates to you. So
interesting. Very good. All right. So travel it is. And that
travel.
We will record that one. That's August 9th, right? So 2 weeks from today. Or the next Monday. 2 weeks from this past Monday is the 9th. So that will be, because that was the 20th. Yeah, we should have recorded this on the 26th. A week from the 26th is the 2nd, and a week from that is the 9th. So we'll do that on the 9th. It's travel. All right, man. Well, thank you, and thanks everyone for watching. Awesome. Congratulations to our two favorites. Those are awesome. I'm happy.
Yes.
I think we'll deal with those. I'm looking forward to seeing the travel pics. I actually have a couple travel pics. I was flying back from Florida, like I said yesterday, and we flew right next to a storm formation, like right.
Oh.
It had to be like maybe 10 miles away, but it was like right there. This giant system with the clouds that just looked impossible. So I grabbed a couple shots with the iPhone, edited them in Snapseed in the seat, as we've all done. But yeah, it looked cool. So I'm gonna post a couple of those. So
good,
cool.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. What's next for you? What's your next destination?
So from here we drive almost straight to Colorado. And we meet Michael Rhino, and then we'll bounce around the Colorado area, Denver, Colorado Springs. Then we're going to go down, I think, into Flagstaff, and I don't know. We may go into Albuquerque. I'm not sure.
Cool.
We're watching where we may want to go, and we're also watching some of the COVID habits.
Oh, right, so, right. But you guys are good though. I mean, you're not getting on anything public. Like I was in a flying petri dish. You guys have your truck, right?
Yeah, no, we're good, and you know, we're staying out of heavily populated areas anyway. So you know, we normally on a road trip like this, you know, we might go to Missouri and go to the World War I museum on a normal trip, which is just packed with people. Mm-hmm. We're not doing that this trip. We're doing a lot of mountain biking, a lot of just walking and hiking and finding places just to be outside and, you know, take a lot of infrared.
Yeah, very cool. Did you bring the drone at all?
No, and I'm so mad.
How could you not bring a drone?
Well, I have the DJI Maverick 1, which isn't huge, but it's a lot of pieces, and I'm living out of my truck, so I had to minimize, right? I had to minimize everything. And I thought, I'm just not going to take that, right? There's a lot of things I didn't bring. And then, of course, you can't fly them in national parks, and I can't really fly them in public areas. So I thought, And then I get here, and I got hundreds of acres of farm, and my cousin's a farmer, and he's got all. I'm like, shoot. So I might be going to Best Buy. And
that's what I was gonna say. Go get you a mini. Go get a mini. It won't take up space. Yeah. It's got, you know, arguably better photography or a better camera than the original Mavic, and it's tiny. I mean, it's literally a little bag that's like this big. It comes with a little bag.
I know.
Just go get it. Just go get it.
Well, if I can arrange some farming, if there's going to be some farming, if they're going to be doing any crop dusting, or they're going to be doing, you know, any, cutting or anything like that, where aerial would really be amazing, then I might consider it.
You know that we've had
just in general.
We've had this conversation, so now that as you're driving back through Denver and Flagstaff and all that, you're going to see all these drone-worthy shots that you should have gotten. You're going to be like,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So, but you know how it goes. That's how Murphy works for photographers. Well, cool, man. Well, we'll leave it right there. Episode 165 of The Critique. The topic is travel. We're going to record that on August 9th. Looking forward to seeing what you guys submit to us. And everybody do a unified wishing Troy Miller safe travels as he's driving around the United States over there, because, you know.
Thank you.
And it's hot too, so deal with it.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And your truck doesn't your truck always break down on road trips? It hasn't broken down yet.
Seriously, you got to bring that crap up, man. If something happens, I'm calling you.
And I'll call AAA for you right there.
Okay. All right, dude.
Oh, man. That's so good. All right. Well, be safe out there, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for doing this from the middle of a farm in middle America.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. We can get the last shot out there. You can see it out there.
There you go. Look at that. Nature.
Yeah, good.
Look at all that fresh air. Nothing but fresh air out there.
Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff.
All right, Troy Miller. You take care, man. Thanks a lot.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks.
This is TWiP.